Good afternoon, everybody. As he said, I'm Ryan, Joseph, Jewel. So we're here to talk today about education for the future of our profession. All three of us were technicians at some point, managers, and also educators. So we wanted to give this talk to kind of share what we feel like is important for the future generation to know about what we do and how they need to be educated. Also going to talk about some challenges related to educating biomedical technicians. And then I want to give some time at the end for you guys to kind of share what you think we are, anything that resonated with you that we're trying to impart upon the future generation, or maybe something that you feel like is important for us to know or that we're leaving out. But to start off, I'll just highlight a situation that you guys are all aware of, right? There aren't enough biomedical technicians to do the job for us. Sometimes we have to get creative and hire outside of our industry, especially, I work at Texoma Medical Center in Denison. I don't have a large pool of biomedical candidates to choose from in that location. So I have to get creative and, hire people from other industries sometimes, like if they're working with electronics in any way, or like the last guy I hired was a car mechanic for a couple of years. So it can work that way, right? You get, sometimes if you they interview well and you can tell they have the potential, it works out. It doesn't always work out. So we need more students to come through these programs and hit the field, right? So we all know there aren't enough. There are only 60 biomedical technology programs to get educated through in the US. In the last several years, many of them have shut down. 25 are no longer operational. And there are 17 states that don't have a program. So if you live in one of those states, you have to travel vast distances to get educated. And all of this to say, when there is a 18% growth projected by 2033 for people that we'll need to do the job. So that's a problem. Well, what's causing this lack of educational opportunities? I feel like one of the main problem is one that has been around for as long as I've been doing this. Nobody really knows we exist, right? Like when you talk to people on the street, new people you meet, the question of what do you do for a living comes up, and they kind of look at you like confused. They don't know what you're talking about, or they're like, wow, I didn't even know that was a job. Sounds kind of cool. So there's an overall lack of awareness about our career. So if people don't know about us, they're going to be less they're not going to open up educational opportunities because they don't know about this career. So that's one problem. But also, when you look at HTM professionals compared to nurses, compared to radiology technicians that are using the imaging equipment, we don't have the kind of volume or quantity of people in this profession like that they do. So, it's a tight-knit group. We all kind of know each other, or we're only separated by one other person. And that's a good thing. But when it comes to this, it's not so good, because that's kind of what's causing the problem, is that we just don't have a large volume compared to the other healthcare careers. So I was curious. I wanted to kind of find out what the disparity is. What's the gap looking like? So according to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, in 2023, there were 3.3 million nurses in America, okay? And I wanted to know how many HTM professionals there were, but I couldn't even, it took me a few minutes to find that career in this massive spreadsheet. I don't know if any of you have ever gone to their website, but it's very interesting. You can see every single career in America and how many people, what their average pay is. So it's useful information, but I am an HTM professional, and I couldn't even find us in this table. It didn't take me too long, but I started searching biomedical or HTM, nothing came up. So does anybody want to take a guess? And if you already know the answer because you've looked at the data, you don't count. What do they call us? What do you think the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics calls us? Okay, I feel like you've seen it. Yes, it is medical equipment repairers. So we've been arguing about what to call ourselves for decades, and they figured it out. It doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, but that's what they think we are. But yeah, 67,000. So you've got 67,000 of us compared to 3.3 million nurses. So is it realistic for us to expect educational opportunities everywhere, right? Like we're never going to get them all over the place, but we do need them in key areas. So we're not going to have them everywhere, like I said, but we do need them in each major region, right? So in every metropolitan area, whether it's Dallas, Miami, Chicago, LA, there should be a school where people can attend to learn about this profession. So we've got to have quality educational programs in all regions. And how do we do that? Well, you got to support the program. If you do have one in your region, support it. Figure out if you can help. Maybe you can give talks there to the students. I do that. A few of you in this room do that if you're local. I know Andrea does it. So we go and talk to the students, tell them about the career, but we also talk to students from other career paths, like if they're going for robotics or some other modality that kind of applies or is similar, we go and educate them so that, hey, you need to know that this other career is out there. So do that if you can. Can you visit high schools and talk to the kids? Let them know that this career exists. If you have a program in your area and you reach out to them for help, I bet they'll be willing to figure out something that you can do. And then, just like I said, the awareness factor, everybody needs to know about our career. So, when I got out of the military, I knew I wanted to do something technical. I didn't know about this job and I wasn't sure what I was going to do, but my friend told me about it. And right when I heard it, I'm like, that's it. That sounds exactly like what I want. So it's a responsibility that we all have to kind of, when you get asked that question, explain what we do and with enthusiasm or whatever. Like I'm sure most of you enjoy the work that you do. So let them know that it's a cool job. Then lastly, get involved with your local HTM association and encourage your team to participate. So we've been trying to do that here locally, kind of revamp the HTM association in Dallas, and I think we've been doing good things, but sometimes it's hard to get our technicians to go too. A lot of times it's the managers, but try to get them out there, and it's good for the industry. It's good for us all to kind of get together and share experiences. So now I want to get into the Collin College program because David Brodigan started this a couple years ago, and now Joseph is the program lead there. I'm an adjunct professor, so I'm going to let Joseph talk a little bit more about that in a minute, but I do want to touch on kind of the stuff that I teach. So in this program, we're trying to prepare students to hit the field and be, whether it's in-house working in a contracted biomedical program or a third-party ISO or an OEM. We try to give them a good understanding of what each one looks like so that they have the information that they need to make a choice when they graduate. And in the course that I teach, they have to write their capstone paper, and that paper is basically they have to kind of research the different options and pick one that they think would be the best for them. So it forces them to, go through this exercise, looking at each one and making a choice and to research. Um, and at the college, we have just about every, major biomedical device for the students to get their hands on. You'll see pictures of that in a little bit. And we have imaging equipment also that we teach on. So for the imaging portion, I teach them theory of operation for X-ray, ultrasound, MRI, mammo, all the imaging modalities. And I focus a lot on X-ray and ultrasound because that's what they're most likely to get their hands on first if they were to transition to imaging equipment once they get a job. And we have quite a few ultrasounds that they actually get to work with. We do a PM on them. I also have them go through and do exercises where they're looking through, it forces them to kind of look through a service manual to find answers, because I think that's an important skill for them to have. And one thing I want to highlight about the ultrasound is that, I teach them how to do image quality testing with the transducers that meets ACR requirements. So it's the same thing that we do in my program for testing ultrasounds, and the physicist checks off and signs off on our report. So that's something that they're learning how to do in the school, and it's a valuable skill, they can go out with and say, I can do that. For X-ray, we don't have an X-ray system yet. I'm trying to get one, whether it's a C-arm or a portable. That way we can just look at one, get our hands on it, instead of just looking at slides. But I do show them quite a bit about X-ray service and common tasks that they might, that they would want to do for a PM, or common service issues that would come up. For the other modalities, like MRI and CT, they definitely get theory of operation, and I go over a little bit about service, but really focus on just the theory of operation because I want them to know how those modalities work and have a little bit of knowledge in case one day they ever want to go start working on them. They'll at least have that background knowledge. And in contrast injectors, we spend quite a bit of time on those too. We have injectors in class that they get to work with. But just in general, the education that I give, I'm trying to make them think for themselves, right? I don't want to give them all the answers, and sometimes it's hard. I'll give them a problem to work through, and the biomed in me wants to just go and help show them what to do. But I really try to stay back and let them fight through that on their own, because I think that's an important skill for them to do. And I want to encourage them to think for themselves. I've noticed, I don't want to blame this all on the younger generation, right? I think as a society, we've all become so reliant upon just a fast answer. We have access to a lot of information quickly, so we're kind of spoiled on that, right? And maybe a new biomed that comes into the field is I can get answers quickly for everything else. I'm just going to do that with this too. Give me somebody to call that knows how to do this, or should I call tech support? Oh, that guy over there, he's been doing this for years. Let me just call him and get the answer. I'm not saying that that's not a valuable option sometimes. We do need to do that. But I also think it's important for them to know how to find the answers themselves. And I'm pretty sure all of you would agree with me in that. I know, I won't get on this anti-AI soapbox for too long, but I know there's tools being developed that kind of will make us more efficient, right? And help us, this has this error code, what do I do? I still think there's going to need to be that time when you have to figure it out on your own. And I know we're not there yet with the tools, but let's pretend like there was a tool like that. Is that really what we want? To be told, here's what you should do in every little situation? I don't know. To me, that kind of strips away the fun parts of being a technician and getting that gratitude after you've fixed something or figured out a problem. So I encourage them to kind of think for themselves, dig through a manual till you find the answer. Because I know it's there. I selected them in a way that, like, I know that you can find it, but it's not going to be so easy. It forces them to kind of work through that. And then lastly, I think it's important for them to know how to use a CMMS before they get to their job, right? So we have the CMMS that we use, and we make them open and close work orders, attach test equipment or parts that they put on. And I kind of teach them the way that I like to see documentation done in my program. And we all have ways that, if you're a manager, you know, ways you like to see things. But I let them know that wherever you go, you know, you might have a different way that they want you to document your work. The company that you go work for or the program that you're in, it's really just important that you know what those parameters are and what their standard is, and you adhere to that the best that you can. But I also kind of stress, you know, what not to say in a work order, because you know how it is sometimes. Technicians will just kind of use a work order to vent or speculate, you know, and it's tempting to do that sometimes. But I stress the importance of just keeping it professional and what's important, and leave the rest out. So now I'm going to turn it over to Joseph.
Hello, everyone. Those that don't know me, it's Joseph Daniel Irving. I'm a professor with Collin College. I teach the biomedical equipment technology program there. I've been a full-time professor there about 1.5 years now. Prior to that, I was spent 25 years with Baylor Scott and White Health. So I want to talk a little bit about the program there and kind of highlight some of the things I think are unique and really special about the program. Again, it's a 2-year Associates of Applied Science degree program intended to be completed as a full-time student over 4 semesters starting in the fall. The first semester kind of focuses on fundamentals of electronics and medical terminology. And then we have a class, Introduction to Engineering, which I think is a really unique class. Ryan Harris kind of touched on it a little bit. It actually combines students that are in the biomedical equipment technology, the electronics, and robotics. All of those students together take this class, and we bring in speakers from the industry, all 3 of those industries, to talk to the students, and it gives them a chance to hear about career opportunities within these industries, to learn how these speakers got into the field, to learn about their companies, to find out, you know, is this career field really the right fit for me? So they learn a lot about the career opportunities within the career field that they've chosen. And then we take the students out on tours of companies in those career fields. Again, robotics, biomedical equipment technology, and electronics, out to local companies. So they get a chance, again, to see what it will be like to work in the field in this career. We've taken the students out to Children's Medical Center. We've gone out to Inogen, which manufactures oxygen concentrators. We've gone out to Sanmina, which manufactures medical equipment. And again, they get to see what it's going to be like working in the field, and it gives them a chance to, again, just to verify, yes, I definitely want to do this. And we see some of the students where, like you said, I was planning to do electronics, but I didn't really know about biomed. And we've seen some that have switched over from electronics into the biomed career field after going through this class. It really kind of opened their eyes to other opportunities, and it's really kind of a unique class that they do there. And kind of we do that early in their program. So again, they kind of confirm exactly which program they want to continue with. So it works out really well. And then in the second semester, the students continue with anatomy and physiology. They take their first biomed class, so that's the first class that I see the students. We start with the entry-level biomedical equipment, IV pumps, syringe pumps, PCA pumps, tabletop sterilizers, that entry-level equipment. that most entry-level biomeds will be working on. And in that second semester, the students get a chance to put hands on equipment. They take equipment apart. We'll give them an IV pump, take the IV pump apart, put it back together. We'll go through detailed PM procedures from the service manual and go through and complete PMs, document the PMs in the database, so they get practice completing work orders. So they get hands-on experience very early in the program, which I think is very, very unique. And then of course, IT essentials. In the third semester, we move on to health, safety and healthcare. We talk about the hazards and safety, working in a hospital, hospital regulations, accreditations with the DMV and Joint Commission, make sure they understand all of that, working in healthcare. We get into more complex equipment, physiological instrumentation, talk about all the different types of patient monitoring, all the different types of parameters that will be monitored, and go into detail on the different waveforms and all the parameters on a patient monitor. And general medical equipment too. Again, we get into more complex equipment like defibrillators, pacemakers, infant incubators, ESUs, surgical video equipment. Again, this is all equipment that we have in the labs that the students get a chance to work on. They do PMs on the equipment. They do work orders. They put work orders in the database after completing the PMs. So they get a lot of chance. They get a lot of time doing hands-on work, which I think is very valuable. Then in the fourth semester, again, we have 3 more biomed classes. The clinical instrumentation class that's focused on laboratory equipment like blood gas analyzers, microscopes, centrifuges, that kind of equipment. And then respiratory maintenance, we have several ventilators that the students get a chance to work with, CPAPs, oxygen concentrators. And then finally, the fundamentals of X-ray, which Professor Ryan Harris teaches. So then, of course, the core classes are sprinkled in throughout the semesters to meet the 60-hour requirements for an Associates of Applied Science degree. So again, the program is very hands-on. We have a lot of different equipment. The prior professor, Professor Brodigan, did an awesome job of acquiring and building up an excellent inventory of equipment that the students get a chance to work with. We're still continuing to acquire and add to that. I'm continuing to work with my colleagues and former students to add to that so we can enhance the program. But we have over 50 different types of equipment in the program, 120 different models, and we try to expose the students to as many different equipment types as models as possible, so they have as much experience as they can, so they can also, they can put that on their resume. I give them a list of the equipment that we go through in the program that they can take with them. So when they go to that job interview, they can take that list with them and they can talk about all the equipment that they worked on in the program. And I think that's unique, and that will really, I know it's helped them help my students secure a job pretty quickly. In addition to just going through the PM procedure on equipment, we also have simulation labs set up as well to allow the students to see what it's like to kind of simulate working in a hospital environment. So one of our labs is set up with like different areas of the hospital, so the students can practice entering a patient room when there's a patient in the room, so they can practice troubleshooting issues with a central monitor in a CMU and see the equipment that they're learning about in a realistic environment. We've got a clinic and doctor's office area. Again, it's set up to look like a clinic office, a clinic area with exam table, exam light, vital sign monitor, again, tabletop sterilizer, that kind of equipment. We have a couple of the different ICU labs set up so the students can practice entering a simulated patient room with the patient in there. The students can practice using AIDIT, the acknowledge, introduce, duration, explanation, and thank you. So they can have be respectful of the patient, and how do you communicate with the patient using their customer service. We have a big focus on developing the students' customer service and soft skills as well as their technical skills, so they're comfortable working in a hospital environment. We also talk about, in the safety class, we talk about the PPE that they're going to use, using proper hand washing, so that they practice safety when they're working with medical equipment and working in the hospital. We have a simulated central monitoring unit where the students practice working on a central monitor. We have several monitors set up connected to a network that are networked to the central monitor, so we can simulate different issues like a telemetry dropout or a patient monitor not connecting to the network. We simulate issues like that, so the students have to kind of logically work through steps to try to troubleshoot that. Is there an issue with the network cable? Can I ping the monitor? Check the bed label, check the unit label, to try to work through steps to try to logically figure out what the issue is with the connection. So we work with the students to try to talk through that and kind of help build up that troubleshooting skill. And then again, of course, document that in our CMMS database after they've practiced that. And we have an area set up like a NICU. Talk about the special considerations for that, and special cleanliness and noise level considerations, and an area set up like a labor and delivery, special considerations for that area. Those areas are typically secure.
That's what I look like when my wife was in labor.
So again, I think the program is pretty unique, So, what are we doing to promote the program? Collin College does a really great job of having career fairs and open houses that they hold at the college that are held in the spring and fall that allows us to showcase the different programs that are available at the college, including biomedical equipment technology. It allows potential students and their parents to come in to speak to the professors, and also the industry leaders that come in and dedicate their time to understand the job demand and also the earning potential for these different careers. And it also allows us to connect upcoming graduates, with hiring managers of industry leaders that, again, that are coming in, dedicating their time to talk to our students. Hopefully connect them with jobs so they can have jobs as soon as they graduate. So we've really been blessed with a lot of support from our very active and supportive partners from our industry advisory committee that not only provide feedback on what we can do to improve our program, but again, take the time out of their schedule to come in and talk at that introduction to engineering class, that come in to spend time at these career fairs, to talk to our students, to talk to potential students, to share about the HTM program and get more students involved. So really appreciate all of the industry support. So these career fairs, they bring in hundreds of students from local middle and high school students, and we set up a lot of equipment demonstrations from using all the equipment that we have there at the college. It allows us to again demonstrate. We talk about what the equipment does, how we test it, talk about what a biomedical equipment technician is, what we do with in the hospital, and demonstrate all the testing that we do with the students as they come through. Here's some students looking again at our ultrasound equipment, and here's me showing some students how to test the ultrasound. Some of these students come through and they're talking about, and they're interested in sonography. And I said, that's great. That's a great career field. We need sonographers, but if you're technical, you can actually work on the ultrasound equipment, not just use it, but you could actually work on it. So I talk about the biomed field and kind of let them know that this is a great career field. If you're interested in ultrasound, you can actually support the ultrasound and make sure it's safe and ready for use for the clinical staff. We've got a very supportive administrative staff there. This is our dean down talking to our potential students as well. Again, telling them all about the biomed field or biomed program. Again, these open houses and career fields give us an opportunity to explain how the equipment works, how we test it. And again, you can really tell that, it really sparks an interest in a lot of the students. Some of them, it doesn't really catch them, but a lot of them, you can really tell that it really sparks an interest. And I've had some that have gone through these career fields and they've come back as a student. So. Some in the back looking at some surgical video equipment back there. and many of the students and their parents, are very interested when they learn about the earning potential that they can make with such an affordable 2-year degree that's really right in their backyard. So in addition to the open houses and career fairs that they hold, one of the other things that we do at Collin College is we hold summer electronics and robotic camps. So we bring in middle school students that have an interest in electronics. We hold electronics camps that allows them we go through electronics components basics, Ohm's law, using a multimeter, and building circuits on a breadboard. And these are students that have an interest in electronics, and we give them the basics on electronics. Teach them soldering and desoldering. We build kits. This last class, we built a little video game kit that they can take back with them that actually plays like Tetris and a few other games. It's really cool. So it's a lot of fun to see them put these together and help them build it. And finally, as part of these summer camps, it also gives us an opportunity, again, to tour the labs, to show them the labs for electronics, robotics, and biomedical equipment technology. Again, to share, the biomed career field. And if they have an interest in electronics, and, we can, again, share about biomedical equipment technology, hopefully spark that interest in the middle school students so they can bring them back in a few years. So it's really fun to share that interest with the younger generation. Again, encouraging the middle schools students interest in electronics and associated careers, and again showcasing the technical programs offered, including biomedical equipment technology. Another great program that Collin College has been doing here recently is they've been doing a high school teacher externship program where they bring in local CTE career and technical education teachers from the local high schools to the campus, and we talk to them about all the different programs that we have at Collin College. I've had several of them come in and we talked to them again about the biomedical equipment technology program, and we've taken some of them on a tour to Baylor Scott and White Health, go through the hospital, show them the biomed department, talk to the biomedical technicians there and the biomed manager to expose them to the career field so that they can take that back and talk to their students back at the high school and share that. So I've had several of those teachers tell me, I wasn't aware of this. I know several of our students that have an interest in electronics that this career would be perfect for them. So they're going to take that back and share with them. So again, that's an excellent opportunity that they're doing to again share about the field. So again, I've really enjoyed. I've only been doing it a year and a half, but it's a lot of fun. I have one of my students that was here at the conference that's out in the field now, and it's really fun to see them graduate and get out in the field and succeed. So I've really enjoyed it. Hand it over now to Jewel. Thank you.
Hey, can y'all hear me okay? All right. So guys, you guys have heard a lot about the program and what they're doing at Collin College, but we know that it takes a village. And we need to be doing more in order to get the word out to bring more for the next generation to come. We got to keep this going and we got to do what it takes. And all of us, it's going to take all of us. It's not just going to be relying on colleges to go find them, but you got biomed associations, you got hospitals, you got employees, you got technicians out there. And we do this every day. Anybody can tell you, I love our industry and I will talk about it till I die. You'll probably see signs at my funeral, join Biomed. All right. But what I want to talk to you guys today about is some ways and some ideas that we can help foster getting the word out. And I'm also giving you examples about how much time it'll take you to set it up and do it. So I sat there and I came up with some ideas. I think that this would be helpful. I think this is some things that we can do. And there's the man with the original plan, Brian Hawkins. Welcome, welcome. So a lot of y'all might not know, but Brian Hawkins has Elevate HTM, but he also goes around to different high schools in Louisiana and other areas. He was even in some high schools here in Texas, visiting students, telling them about our industry. And I'm like, okay, he has something that works, and we need to come up with some things that will work for us, whether you male or female, young or old. We can get out here and bring awareness to our organization. So I come up with 10 ideas. So the first one is a high school road show. And this is something primarily for your biomed associations to do because it will be a group. And you can contact Junior Achievement. And for any of these, Junior Achievement is an organization that is connected to all high schools and middle schools, elementary schools. So if you contact Junior Achievement, they can get you in the door to talk to students. So thank you, Brian Hawkins. All right, so you contact Junior Achievement for the program in your area, and you can reach out to the school administration teams to meet and present to the middle and high school students. Talk about the HTM industry and the benefits of pursuing the field, degree needs, cost effectiveness, and advancement in the industry for 25 minutes and 5 minutes for Q&A. Set up 5 stations to show basic electronics, schematics, medical devices, troubleshooting techniques, and repair skills for 45 minutes. Total time per session, 1 hour and 15 minutes. You're in and out in enough time for the school to be able to give you that time to show our field, get them engaged, and then you're out on to the next one. Second one, high school and parent open house tours at the local colleges. This is developing a partnership with your local biomed programs if you got one in the area. Meet with parents and students to discuss the HTM industry, cost of education, and future possibilities of an HTM career path for the students. 20 minutes, 5 minutes for Q&A. Tour the biomedical equipment technology classrooms to allow the students and parents to see firsthand what their child will be doing and allow the students to see themselves in a college setting. 20 minutes. Create stations to educate basic electronics, schematics, medical devices, troubleshooting and repair. 1 hour, 15 minutes, total time 2 hours. So you can see this is something you can schedule, easily do, right? All right. Girls in STEM, Women of HTM event. We do a lot of Women of HTM events. I mean, we do them at association meetings, we do them at conferences. But Girl in STEM events is something that we can get our young ladies engaged with a purpose. Not only showing them our industry, but also showing them the levels that they can attain in our industry. Partner with Women in Leadership Society. There are over 700 members strong. They have ambassadors that will come and work with you and help you do this. Girls only meetup event with women in the HTM field. High school and middle school young women engage with women in the HTM industry to discuss benefits and challenges of working in STEM fields. 30 minutes. Women in HTM industry will share the field and how they entered the field, what they accomplished, and how they overcame adversities. 15 minutes. Set up 5 stations, show basic electronics, schematics, medical devices, troubleshooting techniques, and repair skills. 45 minutes. Total time there, hour 15 minutes. Done. Bring a friend, student to HTM association meetings. Anybody can do this. Bring a neighbor. Ask members to bring buddy or student to association mixers. Buddy students attend a separate educational session where they learn about HTM industry, cost of education, and career progression, 30 minutes. Set up 5 stations, like I said before, 1 hour. Set up 4 medical devices with troubleshooting bugs to solve for them to have fun and enjoy our field. See the different avenues of what our field brings. And I love when we do association events because we either stick in our hand in a bucket to figure out what some device is, or we doing a raffle. But when we bring somebody and we let them see the fun in what we do, I can't even tell you how much I love troubleshooting a good bug, something that gets me lost. And I'm like, yes, one of those you got to step away from, go have some lunch and come back to. Those are always fun. All right, but total time for that, 2.5 hours. I'm gonna skip this one for now because I'm gonna come back to it. All right, a CR industry event, middle school, high school students and parent day in collaboration with the HTM conference, MD Expo, ICE, Amy, HIMS, AHRA, invite and guide high school, middle school students and parents to come with a day pass. And this is something that you can work out. Students are free. Pass allows for them to go to the expo floor, and student resource center admission. Local association will escort students and parents around so that they can see what our industry provides and answer questions. They will get to talk to the vendors, others in the industry, and see the upcoming technology. Parents will be able to ask questions and engage with leaders in the industry. This is what we did today. We had some high school students come for our HTM Explorers event, and they loved it. And it was one thing just to hear about what our industry does, and they're just getting a little peek of it. But once we got them on the expo floor and allowed them to actually see and talk and hear, even put on the NVRT goggles and work through VR or throw a fake axe at a dashboard and win a prize. It was just something that they were able to see and get involved with. And they even won a TV. One of our young ones over there even won a TV. But these are things that we can do that's easy for us to do. We partnered with MD Expo for this. And it really was a quick conversation. They were on board. They loved what we were trying to do. It wasn't big and fancy. And we did make it a requirement for parents to accompany the students. So it's not a field trip with a teacher and a bunch of kids and you're really not able to share anything. So it actually worked out for us. A day in the life tour, Biomed Shop, ISO tour. This would be a Saturday tour in an approved healthcare ISO facility. Students from local ISDs will be invited to meet up and learn about the HTM industry. Parents are required to attend. Speaker will talk about the HTM industry and the benefits of pursuing the field, degree needs, cost effectiveness, and advancement of the industry for 25 minutes with 5 minutes for Q&A. Escort the group, give them a tour around the facility, Biomed Shop, workspace, share with the group the responsibilities of the team, modalities, opportunities, and challenges. That's 2 tours, 30 minutes, and teach the group a few medical devices and how to repair them, to let them do some hands-on work such as inventory, battery changes, or accessory replacements. 1 hour and 30 minutes, total time 4 hours. Saturday, half day type thing. This is fun because it's a Saturday. The kids actually get a chance to see schematics, understand how it works, have fun touching equipment, see themselves in that role. And this is something that we can do. This is a partnership, easy for a lot of ISOs to have their own building, like IMED, who's in our local area. They did a tour, an open house to let people come in. If we can schedule something like that to have some local kids come in on a Saturday, that helps bring people and get them engaged and excited in our field. A Goodwill or Texas Workforce Commission collaboration to show HTM as a career. Goodwill and state workforce commissions both have programs that pay for the cost of education for those needing to find work. but they don't know you exist. They don't know you exist as an option. So it would be to partner with these organizations and allow them to stream a stream of workers into the HTM field. I can say when I was an instructor, before I was part of a biomed program, teaching about at a college, and I had at least 6 students that were able to go in and convince their workforce commission that that's what they wanted to do. And I had to sign that paperwork for them to do that job. But everybody don't know that we're out there. So this is something that we can do. Presenting HTM as a financially viable option, such as Collin College's $6,000 associate degree. This is the cheapest associate's degree I've seen in the country. But it's well worth it for what you end up with. No long-term debt, but something that a workforce commission can get behind to say, you know what, that's affordable. We can start streaming people there. Ask to speak to those seeking a career and discuss biomedical equipment technology as an educational choice with the benefits of the career, if they allow you to do that. And that would start creating a filter of people, mid-career changers, looking for an opportunity, bringing them into our field. Military BMED, electronics technician to civilian HTM transition, education, and hiring resources. Yet another way that we can get in. Anytime technicians are getting ready to get out of the military, I went through it too, I'm Army hood, but you still have to go through those classes, and they're telling you about opportunities that are out there if you don't already have those channels. But if we partner with these organizations and say, hey, can we come in and talk to your people that are transitioning? Let us share with them what our career is all about. Then you got a frontline stream of imaging or biomed technicians or electronics technicians or radio repair people or missile repair techs that already have the electronics background. You have a stream that you can cultivate and bring in to our industry. You partner with the DoD Transition Assistance Program to talk to them about the biomedical equipment technology field. Set up monthly session to talk about the benefits, because they hold these sessions, these training sessions every month for these people who are transitioning out. All right, create a resource channel to share educational institutions, scholarship offerings, and OJT opportunities with those that are transitioning. Be open to planning ahead, as some may be preparing to get out more than 6 months ahead. If they know that they have a channel and there are people getting ready to get out, the transition to get out, let us help them to get ready to bring them in the field. So when it's time for them to get out, they already have a place to go. We can get them ready for that. HTM Association Educational Resource page, the easiest thing up here. This is literally online. And create a page on the association website and share free educational resources and courses that members, students, and others interested in HTM can do. I love this because you got, for cybersecurity, isc2square.org offers a free cybersecurity training, and they pay for you to take the certification. Free resource. But you also have Stephen Mall's Contrast Injector Part 1, free resource. He offers that to anyone. That's education. But there are other resources that are out there. You can create a page, and even one for tutoring for BMS students or people interested in changing from electronics to biomed. Let's create a page with free resources. I'm part of IHTM. We build coursework. We build course training. We can create free aids, training modules, just so they can learn the basics for free, not the real good stuff. That's for, paying for college, but just those things to get them started, and offer mentorship to those who are seeking it. These are some things that help greatly with what we're doing. Okay, so I'm gonna go back because I missed one. All right, now the HTM Explorers Club, what we did today was special and it was unique. But it was something based on the energy that we felt from it. we feel as if we need to keep doing it, because once you get them interested and once you show them what it is, how do you keep them engaged? If they're middle school and high school, you show it to them one time, make sure that they get a TechNation magazine every month, but it doesn't keep them engaged. It doesn't keep them excited. That means that somebody else can come along, show them something else, and then you've lost someone who could be a possible biomed in the future. So I want to take on this mantle, the HTM Explorers Club, and it's interested high school and middle school students from across the country meet virtually. This way we don't have to work through the schools, we work through the parents. Are you okay with your students being on this page or being on this channel for bi-monthly meetups? Do virtual training classes to show them basic things, what schematics look like. We don't have to be in front of them for that. But then we do meetups with them, have guest speakers actually show up in their area, partnering with other groups like Will that do a meetup in different cities. They have ambassadors for that. Also with HTM Elevate to partner with them for the meetups that they do. But go and actually let them touch the equipment, see what we're doing, keep them engaged. HTM Explorer t-shirts, notebooks, but send out little kits for them, little soldering exercises or little breadboards with little resistors so that they can start doing things and put a battery to it to see that the light came on. But these little things keep them engaged with speakers, and then invite them to conferences because they're students, they're getting free. So what is the damage? It's not really any damage. Invite them and their parents to come, and then we're able to keep them engaged. So when they graduate high school, they already know what college they want to go to. They already know what field they want to be in. If they're thinking biomedical engineering, we've given them a plethora of ways and valleys about how they can use a biomedical engineering bachelor's to still step into this field and find something that they love. Does that make sense? Okay. Any questions?
Yep, we got a few minutes left, so if anybody has any questions or suggestions on ways to increase awareness or what we need to think about during education, let us know.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, the pictures he showed of each different station, that whole area was the thing that really struck out to me when I saw their program, because there's just a lot of equipment in there and a lot of different things set up to give them a good idea of what it looks like to work in a hospital. It's pretty cool.
Any other questions?
I don't know about the national average. I know recent students probably are seeing about $28 an hour starting out.
It's kind of a big swing,
It's very,
I've heard of anything 20, 25 to low 30s, mid 30s starting, so hourly rate. Yeah.
And actually, it's been depending upon the actual need, because some areas have become pretty desperate with
Yep.
what they need. And so I've seen 25 to 28, and I'm a recruiter, but 25 to 28 is what I've seen overall. And it's really based on how bad they need it. Honestly speaking, and I'm just going to be honest about what our situation is. If you would have told me 5 years ago that as a recruiter, I can go out there and recruit for an entry-level technician and get paid for it, people are like, that's stupid. Biomeds come dime a dozen, I can get them from anywhere. No, not always so. So now we're at a point, and I never thought we'd get this way, that I could ever say, yeah, I'm recruiting for an entry-level technician that's willing to go this place and I'm getting paid this much money for an entry.
I've heard as high as like $32 an hour
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's where we are today,
for entry level right out of school.
right out of school. Mhm.
Yeah. I feel like it has, you're right. But I feel like it has to be the first option. It's that they don't know we exist, because we all know it's a cool job. And most of the people that you explain what our job is, they agree, whether it's something that they would be interested, but they can usually think of somebody that would be good at it. So I feel like it's just that. But like I was saying earlier, unfortunately, I feel like we've always been talking about this, and we might always be in this phase where the general population doesn't know, just because we're a small community. Like, we don't have the same kind of volume of people that do what we do. But so we're never going to get education everywhere, all over the place. And I don't know that that would be sustainable. I mean, think about it. If there were students coming out all over, we wouldn't have enough jobs for them, right? That's why it's important to do the things you talked about, and increase awareness in our communities, help the programs that we do have, if you have one in your area, so that we can keep them going. Because they've closed down because there's either a lack of students applying, or their placement numbers aren't really making it sustainable, right? So
Yeah. And to add to that, yes, we did see a mass exodus of uh, baby boomers leave out the field, but some things occurred in that shouldn't have. Number one, the baby boomers did not share their knowledge with those that were still there. They didn't take on that level 2 or 3 and bring them under their wing to share their information. And that made it hard for the next person to step into their role, because they were pretty much, a lot of them were started from scratch. So that made it difficult. The other half of that was, now that baby boomer rolled out and you have to give that promotion to someone else, now you have to fill in, and you're in a location that nobody wants to come to. So then that became an issue in and of itself. So a lot of things contributed to that. And it is the fact that, yes, a lot of them don't know that we exist. And if they did, how cool would that be, right? Because, I agree. We got, to me, one of the best career fields in the world, where you can take the base knowledge of electronics and go anywhere that you want to go, based on you learning critical theory, critical thinking, or problem solving skills, project management. You can take the basics of what we do and turn it into pretty much anything.
but we're never in the TV shows, right? We're in the hospitals. There's never a biomed coming to save the day. I mean, so I really think it's up to us. We are the face of our industry, and it's really our responsibility to advocate.
Yeah. All right, any other questions?
Yeah. Getting their hands on it.
Yeah, or CBET. So College of Biomedical Equipment Technology. Yes, their online program does incorporate, if you're going after the associate's degree, the VR. And they've brought their program up to where 3 technicians can troubleshoot in VR. And I think that's a really cool feature, but at the end of the day, that's a set of parameters that's created in an environment. It doesn't really speak to everything a physical device can do. But what they do suggest is that technicians go and either volunteer at a local hospital or try to get some type of externship. They also offer a certificate program that doesn't allow for the VR piece to be used, but they try to partner that with other hospitals that they know that the technician can go in and actually physically see and touch the equipment on that level. I don't think anything can really replace a program that offers that chance for you to actually touch the equipment. When I was teaching, I had a full-on bug-out block, and all my kids in this room know what that was. I break it, you fix it. You can't ask me any questions. And that was for them to figure it out and so you can meet them where they are and bring them up to where they are. And you can't just make that up in VR. Any other questions? Okay, well, we thank you guys for coming.
Yep, thank you. Appreciate it.
You guys did a great job.